Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are talking about Paleo. Why? Because I have a hankering to play Paleo, and it's just a fun deck to play. Is it the best right now? No, of course not. It's never good. But that being said, I do really enjoy Paleo, and I figured, hey, why not play it? Have we received any new cards? No, but it's always nice to go back and play some of these control-style decks in new metas to see if they still stack up. It's fairly interesting. It's obviously not going to be able to beat, like, Unchained, that's not the right one, Fiendsmith, or Snake Eye, or Fire King, or Azamina Shenanigans, but they can do some stuff. It's pretty fun. So, yeah, I'm just going to quickly go through the card by card and the explanations. It's pretty simple. I genuinely think I haven't changed a single card in here. I could, right? Like, you know, Fiend Griefing's a little bit better, and a few things here or there are better and worse and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's fine. It's not really that big of a deal. So, starting off with the monsters, we're playing 2 King Backjack as targets for our Fiend Griefing, as well as a few other reasons. You know, you can normal summon it and link it off for a Link Kuriboh to get additional interactions and stuff like that. We're playing the 3 Soldier Dragon as well as 1 target for it outside of the Soldier Dragons, which is the Laundry Dragon Maid. This card's crazy. It's the best normal summon in the deck. We're also playing 1 Hyperia to get off of the Gigantic to draw cards, which is pretty nice. And we're also playing it 2 Magic Lighter Soul. This card's pretty good. And yeah, why not play it? You know, it gives us access to things like Herald as well as Merry Melfi. It's pretty useful. We're also playing a fair amount of spells, but not a lot of spells. It's mostly traps. We're playing the 3 Reasoning as well as 1 Grass to mill a whole bunch of cards. We're also playing 2 Trap Tantalizing Tune because, hey, guess what? Sending cards to the graveyard is pretty good in Paleo. And then, of course, we have the 3 Time Tearing Morganites because we gotta draw cards. As for the traps, we are playing the standard suite of Paleos with the 3 Olenoids, the 3 Canadia, the 3 Dynamicious, the 3 Morella, and of course the 3 Leoncolia. We could potentially play like Hallucinogenia or what have you, or Picari, or this one, but we're not going to do that. We also do this guy, which just is really bad, and we would never realistically play, but we're basically playing the max suite of Paleos. We're also playing a bunch of ways to stop battle damage from occurring with Threatening Roar and Rise to Full Height at 3 copies each, so that's pretty useful. We're also playing 1 target for our Transaction Rollback, which is Elemental Burst, which just nukes the field, and then the 3 Needlebug Nest to send set cards to the graveyard. We also have 2 Hope for Escape, which, honestly, this should probably be like Jar of Greed or something else of that nature, just some other way to draw cards, right? What is the Balance of Judgment, I believe, is the other one that draws cards. Yeah, this one, right here. Balance of Judgment, that's exactly it. It should probably be that. This one's not terrible, though. We're also playing the 2 Fiend Griefing, which I mentioned previously. We're also playing 3 Trap Trick, for obvious reasons. The 2 Ice Dragon's Prisons, the 3 Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon, because it is insanely good. Also 3 Rollback, also very good. When sending a whole bunch of trap cards to the graveyard and wanting to activate them in the grave, this is a great way to do that. And then I'm also playing 1 apiece of the Solemn Judgment and the Solemn Strike for... they're just useful. And that's pretty much it. The extra deck is not too important, but, you know, Anomala Karis and the Opopina as well. We're also playing Zelantis in a way to, like, banish everything with Coral Anemone to bring back stuff to then, you know, nuke the field and after being locked into waters. It's very funny. We also have a Zeus and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going first, and this is a fairly decent hand. Let's see what we can do. I mean, Reasoning here should mill a whole bunch of... No, I forget I said anything. Of course, they have the Ash Blossom. But, I mean, we have Dynamicious sending Rollback as well as Morella to potentially put an additional thing into the graveyard. Like, it's fine. We should be okay. Okay, we may not be okay. I actually just elect to send Rollback here. This is a mistake. I don't know why I elect to do that. That's kind of silly of me. I should have just sent, like, Elemental Burst or something else of that nature, but it's fine. We grab Hope for Escape, which is pretty good. The reason to play Hope for Escape in particular is for Transaction Rollback, so you can Transaction Rollback and like pay half of your life points and then activate Hope for Escape and draw 2, which is very good, except for the fact that my opponent elects to activate their own Transaction Rollback, and now I'm just cooked in that regard. So now this card just doesn't do anything. But alas, we do get to chain in special summon the Morella, and of course it's Labyrinth. Out comes the Ariana. I'm actually going to absolutely strike the Ariana. This may seem a bit strange. You're like, oh, why not strike this or that or the other thing? The simple fact of the matter is, cutting off Ariana means that they likely don't have, not likely, but there is a chance that they don't have anything else there. right? There's a chance they do, right? I mean, they have the transaction rollback, so they still have some way to a monster, but being able to cut them off of that, like, important name is pretty good. So, all in all, I think it's still worth it. They then decide to do, I don't know what they're doing at this point. They're looking at buttons. Anyway, it's their turn. They're going to go for the Lab here and then go transaction rollback. Perfectly welcome. And I'm going to go for the Dynamicious to get rid of their Lab because we can't really control that. However, they are very kind and put my Paleo back into the graveyard because of the fact that they were able to Daruma Cannon me. So, that's choice. I'm going to go for the Morella here. They actually skilled. Look, I don't know what they're doing, but it's fine. I Morella'd for a destructive Daruma Karma Cannon so that I don't immediately die. We do also hit Fiend Briefing, which is pretty nice, so we can shuffle back a guy in order to just put a guy into the graveyard. That's mostly what it's useful for, and for a Paleo. They're going to go for another of their big monsters. They go for the Lovely here, which is kind of funny, because they're under Skill Drain, which is just, like, highly detrimental to them. Anyway, we go for the Fiend Briefing here to shuffle away a guy, and for some reason, they still elect to not chain the lady, and they will elect to not chain the lady at any point, anytime in this duel to cut me off of Paleo. Just don't do that. They're like, it's negated. Why would I activate it? And to that I say, fair. Anyway, Absolute King backcheck is going to be sent to the graveyard, and we end up hitting Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. So we're going to flip everything they've done. They still elect to not chain. It's going to bother me every time. They flip up the guy. That's fine. Now, to be fair, I am still under Skill Drain. So there's not really a point for me to go like Opabinia or something of that nature. So there's that. They go big welcome here and put the Lovely back in hand. I don't know why they put Lovely back in hand. Like, why would you not put this guy? It's fine. I stack my deck and just pass back to them. They're going to elect to bounce the card. That doesn't do anything. You'll love to see it. And then they're going to go Chaos Angel and activate its effect as if it did anything. Yeah, I don't... Look, I'm just enjoying playing Paleo. We did end up hitting the Olenoids, which is pretty nice, so I'm just going to pop the back row. It was evenly. Why was it evenly? It's fine. We draw Ice Dragon's Prison, which is a very good draw. You'll see why in a second. They normal summon Ariana, which is actually pretty bad for me. They're going to walk over the guy. I'm going to go for the Dynamicious here and then chain the Paleo because, of course, they still elected to not activate to chain, even though I've given them so many opportunities here. Now, there is something that I discovered later. Actually, I didn't discover it. My chat did. But I do have a transaction rollback in the grave, and they are on 500, count them, 500 life points because of all the transaction rollbacks and the like that they have activated. So, what I could have done here is go Ice Dragon's Prison, steal their Stovey Torby, banishing their either Chaos Angel or Lady Lab, and then go Ice Dragon's Prison with the rollback in order to grab the Lady from grave, and then walk over Ariana for well over lethal. However, doing it this way means that I don't have lethal now. So, oops. However, I did stack the deck, so I'm actually lying to you, and I do have lethal because I draw this off of the top of the deck. And you might be wondering, how do I have lethal? I literally can't get over this guy. That's a lie. I can. Coral Anemone is 2,000 attack points. That's it. That's all it is. It's 2,000 attack points. It gets barely over Ariana, and it was barely not lethal. So I needed one more guy, and luckily we did have the one more guy. So I would say good game, but that was terrible. So, tragic. Alright, here we are once again, going first. However, my opponent has elected to go second, so keep that in mind. However, this hand is absolutely insane. We're going to start off here with the normal summon of the Soldier Dragon, and then activate our Time-Tearing Morganite in set 3 and pass. Those are pretty good sets as well. Not insane, but pretty good. And then they reveal that they are on Magical Musketeer / Fiendsmith, which we kind of figured, but anyway. We're going to summon out our Soldier Dragon here. They're going to summon out their token. They're going to activate the effect here. We're going to go for the Soldier Dragon as well because this card is insane. It's now going to put 4 bodies onto my field. They're going to go for the Magical Musketeer now. Or, sorry, the Magical Musketeer Max here. Now, I could go Solemn Judgment here because they're going to special summon additional guys. So you're thinking, oh, why not, like, Solemn Judgment this to prevent them from getting that access? And the answer is, why would I need to? I don't care how many guys they put on the field. Threatening Roar prevents me from dying, and then I have big unaffected dinguses in my extra deck that can just kind of be sat on and prevent my opponent from really interacting with me. So I'm not really too concerned one way or the other if my opponent has a whole bunch of guys. I'm mostly concerned about surviving. If I survive, Time Carrying Morganite takes effects, Soldier Dragon gives me an insane advantage here, so I'm not really too concerned one way or the other. So, yeah, Max is fine. We're then going to summon out the Laundry Dragon Maid. They're going to special summon 2 guys. They didn't even have enough to fully special summon all 3 of the potential targets, but it's fine. We also do get to stack the deck here due to backchecks, which is pretty good. The top decks aren't insane, but they're not terrible. They're gonna elect to try and banish my cards. However, they did happen to activate a trap for that, which means like we can just chain the Paleo. So there's that. We also hit an Olenoids here, so we're gonna special summon the Paleo and then set the Olenoids. Out comes the Fiendsmith half of their deck, and I'm like, cool. And then they add their counter trap, which I'm like, okay, that's a choice. I'm gonna go for the Threatening Roar here, to which they will just not activate their trap. Which is sure. So I guess I'm not dead, which is great news for me. I didn't have to activate Judgment, which is pretty cool. I like that. So maybe I just keep the Judgment around. They're gonna do stuff. I don't know what they're doing at this point. They like fusion summon for Lacrima at this point, but instead of going for Sanct, and then out comes Wave King, and now they have to link off to go to Sequence for. Brother, I don't know what's happening here. My opponent's clicking buttons, but sure. Also, reminder, you know how they have that like counter trap in hand that you can activate from hand due to the effects of like your Magical Musketeer monsters on field? Yeah, they decided to just not have that be useful at any point. So yeah, this one, Last Stand. So yeah. Out comes Desiree. I'm just gonna flip that face down, and then they go SP Little Knight. I'm like, sure. Now, I could have, again, judgmented there, but there's no reason for me to do that. It would just be paying 4,000 life points for, like, nothing. I don't care about this SP Little Knight. I draw 2 here, and hey, would you look at that? Grass looks greener. So I'm gonna mill my entire deck, and at this point, the game is pretty much over because I have pretty much everything that I need. So I'm going to go Opabinia here. We're going to activate the effect of the Opabinia. This is a bit of a mistake, but it doesn't matter because my opponent just elects not to read my card. So out comes Morella. We're going to chain Morella here. We're also going to send Elemental Burst, and I'm going to go for the Anomalocaris, Anomalocaris, and walk over the SP Little Knight, and then I'm going to go for the rollback effect in order to target our trap that sends everything to the graveyard, and they could have burned me as well as sent a card to the graveyard. They wouldn't have been able to send a card to the graveyard, but they could have acted like they could with Desiree, but alas, the game's over. They don't have anything at that point. The game is over. Good game. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is still very long. It takes a long time to win games, but I do thoroughly enjoy that. I find it very, very fun to play out these long games and have multiple turns to actually play Yu-Gi-Oh! Slowing down the opponent, preventing them from killing you, generating slow but steady advantage, watching the opponent always forget to read Opabinia and every single one of my other Paleo cards that have been special summoned from the graveyard. It's hilarious. It's peak comedy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is just a fun deck to play. Is it fun to play against? Probably not. I'm sure my opponents hate me. They're like, why are you playing this? You dumb, and then, you know, slurs, or something of that nature. But alas, I thoroughly enjoy it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you the fun deck that I was playing. Anyway, have a good night. Thanks for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.